And good morning. I've been mostly awake since 1 a.m. or shortly thereafter, and a lot of that time has been spent pondering today's topic, which I've entitled, What Does the Facade of the Clown Face Hide? And my blurb goes like this. I do understand the desire to feel happy and recognize the pursuit of happiness as a reality for most, if not all people. Who likes feeling sad or derives pleasure from living in misery? Perhaps some do, in a twisted sort of way, living off the sympathy of others by throwing constant pity parties. For me, I cannot speak for everyone. I have always felt suspicion of those that always seem to project a happy countenance as their public facade. Get real is what I think to myself. I know that the clown often uses mirth to cover the deep-seated pain felt inside. That's why I've long endeavored to be authentic, even though it is often perceived and labeled negative by those who insist on only showing the good side of themselves. I like to be able to rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. The topic was triggered by 2 emails from an individual that has been corresponding with me pretty much since the beginning of my videos in 2011. And he was angered, actually. He said, "This is the first time I've ever written to you in anger." And he was angered not by one of my videos, but by a video of someone that I also like a lot and hope to do some videos with in the future. It won't be, I'm hoping to be able to do another video with Peter Van Runt later today, by the way, but I haven't gotten his approval of that yet, and I've only notified him relatively a short time ago, like today. But in any case, something that was said in one of those videos triggered my friend's response and said, what is it about people that they think that they've always got to be the cheerleader and they've always got to put on that happy face, and they think it's being negative to feel the pain and to feel the hurt and to express those feelings. How can anybody look at what's going on in Gaza or Syria or what went on in Iraq and Afghanistan, what goes on every day in Africa and in Latin America and in some of the third world countries of the world, in India and stuff like that, and not feel a deep remorse? I know that there are those that say we've got to watch our energy, we've got to keep our energy positive. Man, I've been rubbing shoulders with the New Age, New Thought community since the mid-90s anyway, since I met Dr. Mary, and actually even before that. I know how important it is to try to look at the cup as being half full rather than half empty. And I know how important it is to have a cup that's running over once in a while, to feel that euphoria, to feel that bliss, to feel that connection with all that is. I've been there. I've been on the mountaintop. I've been there. And I have felt the joy and the wonder of it all. But I've also been in the valley. I've been where I could recognize the lamentations of the weeping prophet Jeremiah. And I think of Jesus, who wept. The shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept. He didn't put on a happy face when his friend died as a young man, and his sisters said to Jesus, if you had been here, he would not have died. And Jesus wept. Even King David, in some of the Psalms, bemoaned the situation he found himself in. Even Elijah, when he was threatened by the evil queen, Jezebel, went and hid himself in the cave, bemoaning, "Oh God, I wish I wasn't born. Oh, how awful it is." And he had only just prayed fire down from heaven to consume not only the sacrifice, but the very stones of the altar itself, so that the stones were consumed. Which, of course, doesn't happen with normal fire. It had to be really hot. Romans chapter 12, the first two verses are some of my favorite verses in the entire Bible. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And here's the part. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And that whole chapter, I encourage you to read the entire chapter 12 of Romans in the New Testament. Read the whole thing. There's lots of wisdom in there. But in verse 15 it says, rejoice with them that rejoice, and weep with them that weep. And in the verse before that says, bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. And the one after that verse is be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not the high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Lots of wisdom in this chapter. Lots of platitudes put out by St. Paul, who was Saul of Tarsus, who used to kill Christians, and now he's the greatest Christian apologist of his age. The apostle born out of time, or he didn't see Jesus, the only one of the apostles that didn't see Jesus in the flesh, but met him on the road to Damascus, when Jesus cried out, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Life is paradoxical. There are ups and downs. And as I said in my blurb, I'm wary of those that only want to put on a happy face. You ask them how I'm doing. Wonderful, thank you. And it's always the same response. They're never feeling low. They never acknowledge or admit, hey, I'm having a rough time right now. I mean, I'm going through some really deep shit. They never admit that. They always want to wear a happy face. And I can understand wanting to be happy. I love being happy. I love feeling joy. I love being in love. I love the feeling of connectiveness with the whole of creation. But every day I pray for those that are sick, or that are threatened in the legal system, or they're worried about money, or they're in serious trouble one way or another. And I look at pictures sometimes and watch videos sometimes that make my heart just cry. How long are we going to keep this crap up on this planet? How long are we going to keep hurting ourselves, hurting each other, and denying each other the truth? When are we going to be real? When are we going to finally learn how to love? That love embraces the positive and the negative, the high feelings and thoughts as well as the low feelings and thoughts. It embraces the paradox. It puts its arm around everybody, wherever the individual is. To me, that's the ascended person. That's the master. Not the one who always presents the clown face, the big smile, but also the one who can weep with those that weep. I wrote a poem in 1995 in January. It's the longest poem that I ever wrote. It's an epic poem called Paradox, the Prelude to Peace. And I used several writing styles in that poem that would probably last about 15 or 20 minutes to read, when I'm not going to read it today, but I am going to read the conclusion of it, which is sort of like a separate poem called Please Love Me. And I'm going to close today's talk, I think, with that poem. And it goes like this. Please love me, begged the blind man. But the priest said, you are wrong. You are earning karma. That's why you're weak, not strong. Please love me, sighed the prostitute. But the holy man turned away. You immoral woman, was what I heard him say. Please love me, cried the leper, the most despised on earth. Who sinned, they asked the master, that led to this man's birth? For the glory of God, he answered, that the glory of God be shown. Only the despised Samaritan showed love that could atone. I am the priest and holy man who turned away in fear, deceived by my false holiness, I condemned without a tear. I am the blind man begging, the harlot too is me. Am I not the leper, crying to be free? Who will bind my wounds? Who is not afraid to touch? Who can accept me as I am? Is what I ask too much? When will we have peace on earth? When will our dreams come true? When we choose love instead of fear, and let the light shine through. When I can love the darkness that dwells in my own heart, be willing to be open, then, yes, then I start. When I can cry with others, or dance with them in peace. When I let myself be human, my enmity will cease. Come home, my friend, and join me. Together we'll change the planet. Let's choose to join our fires, and then let's choose to fan it. Let the holy conflagration burn, consuming all our dross, leaving gold and silver in the shadow of our cross. The prelude to peace, a paradox. All through hell do go. Yet heaven's on the other side, right here for us to know. The angels sing for joy again. We can join them in the dance. There's only now, and now is when we awaken from our trance. Sing, O heart of life divine, I am yours and you are mine. From love we came, to love we go. Be still, my soul, and you will know. Thank you for listening to today's video, and I do bless you, and I do encourage you with all of your desire to manifest the happy face. Be real with people. Be authentic. Don't be afraid to show your warts. Don't be afraid to share your sadness. It's all good. It's all the human experience. Be real. Be authentic. Be genuine to the best of your ability. And when you fall short, cut yourself some slack and forgive yourself so that you can forgive others when they don't get it perfect either. Namaste.